We are started. It's fucking late at night, man. It's 1 in the fucking morning. Like, this is the latest we've ever done a fucking podcast. Like,
Trust me, I could go. No,
what's with all these
last year we had a
people?
pretty late one too.
Damn, they can grab some of my music here. Man, people need to stop trying to hit me up with music. Like, I don't want your music. I don't want your free music, because there's always something you want me to subscribe to you, and I don't want to subscribe. That's not what I do. I don't subscribe. Not on this channel, anyway. I don't subscribe on this channel. Oh my god. Alright, this thing's messing up because I hate when like you sit in a league and they advance and it still says like week 5, week 6, like it didn't change.
Yeah.
Boom. Alright guys. As you heard, it is 1 in the morning, it's like 8 in the morning where Profit
Wait,
is.
it's not playing. I'm on the live stream right now. It's not playing.
What do you mean it's not playing? It should be playing.
What the fuck? It wasn't popping up my internet. Booty internet, my bad.
Yeah, baby internet. What's up, everybody? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta find an intro that I like. I keep using this welcome back, but I need to find an intro. It is week 6, guys. Week 6. The regular season in real life has just started. Games have already been played. Man, Sunday's coming up soon. I cannot wait because that is when the Cowboys versus Giants opening kickoff for the Cowboys. But enough of that. I am your host, Avengers. Alongside us is our co-host, Prophet.
What's up, y'all?
It is 1 in the morning. This is the latest podcast I've done. I was thinking of just doing this as a video, but no, we're gonna live stream this like always. Boom. I don't know where I'm at. Oh yeah, we're gonna go to options. Not option. Why am I saying, dude? I am way out of it tonight. week 5 recap. As y'all can see, Patriots versus Buccaneers are at. Oh no, can't do that because that was a force. That was a force. That one was played. Yeah. All right. First game we're gonna talk about is the Jets at the Browns. Ungwe, if you didn't know, was undefeated until he faced the Jets, and the Jets broke him off that winning streak. And the Jets just won completely in this game.
Yep.
Every aspect.
Every single facet.
Blake Bortles, 140.3 passer rating. You'll never hear that about that in real life, because that'll never happen. He'll never get that.
Nope.
355 yards, 3 touchdowns, sacked only once. Deshaun Kaiser, 264 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions, sacked 6 times. This is the worst game I've seen by Deshaun Kaiser this season.
Yeah, same here. He just had an off game. I'm guessing there's those days where they just aren't as accurate as usual, and they just get
Really
sacked, block sheds.
Yeah. Nothing really to talk about rushing, because really nothing on the rushing side. Receiving, Marquise Lee, also acquired from the Jags, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Malin, rookie wide receiver. I think, if I'm right, he was on my team, on my practice squad. Having 95 yards and a touchdown. David Njoku, 81 yards. Robbie Anderson having himself a touchdown, and that's about it. Really nothing else there.
And on defense, we have Leonard Williams with 3 sacks, Ray Malaluga with 2 sacks, Darren Lee with 1, Jabril Peppers and Christian Kirksey combining for a sack.
Leonard Williams has been a sack machine this season.
Oh, yeah.
Every game, there's been at least 3 sacks by Leonard Williams. In interceptions, we have 2 by Morris Claiborne and 1 by Barry Church. 2. No, it's Cowboys.
Yeah. Or former Dallas Cowboys.
Former Dallas Cowboys. And no
And
defensive touchdowns.
No defensive touchdowns. Nope.
Good job to Mama Bear, a.k.a. String Bean. Good luck to both of y'all in y'all's week 6 games. Next game on the list is our game of the week, which I guess we shouldn't really make the game of the week. It's 80-20 Lions taking the win. But on the off chance, on offense, played well for the Panthers, but 9 turnovers is what sealed the deal.
Yep.
Player stats: Matthew Stafford for 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, sacked 4 times, and the Panthers went through 3 quarterbacks, all throwing picks. There's really nothing else. Rushing side of the ball, Christian McCaffrey still doing very well with 18 rushes for 178 yards, a touchdown. TJ Loken, rookie from North Carolina, 169 yards, 3 touchdowns, but did fumble once. And then Matthew Stafford having himself a touchdown also.
Receiving stats. We see. Ooh, shit.
Really not much on the receiving.
Really not much. Just four touchdowns by various players like Devon Kajust, Curtis Samuel, Kelvin Benjamin, Marquise Goodwin.
It
That's
all
it.
comes down to what defense had. In sacks, we have Ezekiel Anza with 2, Paul Warlow with 1, Daryl Worley with 1, Thomas Davis Sr. with 1, Mario Addison with 1, half a sack by Shaq Thompson, Hasten Ridgeway, Julius Peppers, and Akeem Spence.
Interceptions, we see Darius Slay with 3, Tease Tabor with 3, Mike Adams with 2, Eddie Jackson with 1, Nevin Lawson with 1, and Jared Davis. Pretty sure there's a couple of defensive touchdowns in here. Oh, yes. Holy crap. 3 by Darius Slay, 1 by Tease Tabor, and 1 by Jared Davis. That's probably the most defensive touchdowns I've ever seen in one game.
Good job to Scorpio. Good luck to both y'all in week 6. Next game on the list is San Francisco 49ers versus the Indianapolis Colts. And we just see that the 49ers blew the Colts out on offense and defense, with CJ Beathard, rookie out of Iowa, having 251 yards, 2 touchdowns, sacked 3 times, and Andrew Luck with 228 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, sacked 3 times. On the rushing side of the ball, we see Jerick McKinnon, 10 rushes for 95 yards, and Tarek Cohen, rookie out of North Carolina A&T, with 68 yards and a touchdown. We also see
Receiving wise.
but we also see rookie Joe Williams with a fumble.
With a fumble.
With a fumble.
And with receiving stats, we see Kenny Galladay with 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. T.Y. Hilton with 113 yards and a touchdown.
Hopefully he has that kind of game in real life for my fantasy squad.
Yeah, that would definitely be a benefit.
Yeah.
There's no other touchdowns in there. And defensively,
Damn, but we gotta see this too. Joe Williams with 1 reception and -1 yards. Defensively, for sacks, we have 2 by Jonathan Hankins, 1 by Malcolm Smith, 1 by Kendall Langford, 1 by Eli Harold, and half by Navarro Bowman, Aaron Lynch, and Solomon Thomas.
Interceptions, we see Eli Harold with 1 and Akello Witherspoon, and there's also a fumble recovery in here. Wait, what? There should be a fumble recovery because there was 3 turnovers.
Lord, this game is
that makes no
great.
sense.
Well, there's 2 forced fumbles.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's 2
There's
forced
just
fumbles.
no fumble recoveries.
Well, have
Okay.
you seen where it says like there's defensive touchdown by like a defensive tackle, and it says there's fumble yards, but there was no fumble recovery? Like, where did he get the
Yeah.
fumble? Where did he get the defensive touchdown and the fumble yards if he didn't recover? But
Exactly. They need to fix that, but
good job to the 49ers. Good luck to both of y'all in week 6. And we got my game.
all right, I'll go ahead and go over it then.
All right.
As we see offensively, you took the game. Besides on the rushing side, you held
Mm,
the game on. Ooh, whoa! You turnover battle, you actually lost, but it seems like you kept it together when it came to the most important need, and that was in the red zone. Um, Time of possession, okay. So let's go on offense right away. We see Marcus Mariota with 439 yards, 4 touchdowns, but sacked 6 times.
God, man,
Ryan
that.
Tannehill, 256, 1 touchdown, 119, sacked 3 times. It does look like he definitely got a lot of pressure going to you. So
It's
what
that
happened there?
mid blitz. He ran mid blitz, and for some reason, it didn't matter how many people I blocked. It's like one person would always get past on a mid blitz, and I don't like running back, fullback, tight ends. It didn't matter. It didn't really matter.
Uh, I hate it when that happens. Rushing stats, we see Jay Ajayi with 37 attempts, 163 yards, and 3 touchdowns. We also see down at the bottom DeMarco Murray with 1 attempt, 12 yards, and a touchdown. What was up with Jay Ajayi? It just looks like he
He
went
bounced
off.
off. He was a rubber band during this game, man. Like my guys would hit him, and he just kind of bounce around. He'd run into his lineman and just kind of like bounce all around. But he did have a good running game. He had a good running game. I'll admit that. But as you can see, he only had a 4.4 average, which is me pretty much stopping him. Took him a lot of tries, but he got it.
Sometimes certain players just go off in certain games, and you can never expect exactly when. And the receiving stats, we see Delaney Walker with 11 receptions, 264 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Look at the old man going off.
He gets open. I'll tell you that. He gets open. Like all my other guys will get shut down, but he'll get open for me.
Hey, that route running ability definitely makes a difference in this game,
Oh
especially
yeah,
if
it
he
does.
has the route running up as a tight end against a linebacker. Then that's an easy win to win right there. You also see DeMarco Murray with 8 receptions, 136 yards, and a touchdown. Looks like you definitely included DeMarco Murray in the passing game. Maybe not as much in the rushing game, but he did make a difference still. Devontae Parker, 7 receptions, 136 yards, and a touchdown. And from receiving wise, that is pretty much about it.
Yeah.
Defensively, sacks. We see Anthony Walker Jr. with 2 sacks, Jonathan Cyprian with 1, Brian Arakpo with 1, Daquan Jones with 1, Kiko Alonso with 1, Neville Hewitt with 1, Raekwon McMillan with 1, and then Dominic Sue and Charles Harris combining for 1. The lone interception of the game belongs to Jonathan Cyprian, and nope. But we do have a forced fumble by 4 people.
Yeah.
Anthony Walker Jr., Kadarius Tankersley, Savion Howard, and Telvin Smith. That's actually pretty impressive. 2 corners getting forced fumbles. Good job to you, Avengers, and good luck to Julio for the rest of the season.
Then we go up to our next game, which is the Giants versus the Chargers. 40-23. Really, the Chargers owned offensively, and even turnovers is pretty much the same. I wonder what happened there. But it looks like the Giants had the ball for a lot longer than the Chargers did.
They did. The only thing I can see right here is that when it came for time due, Chargers just couldn't get the ball into the end zone in the red zone, or they just couldn't make the right plays at the right time.
In player stats, we have Eli Manning, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, sacked 3 times. And Cardale Jones, 332 yards, a touchdown, 3 interceptions, and sacked 5 times. And the
Rushing
rush,
stats, we see Brandon Oliver with 87 yards and a touchdown. And then we see Paul Perkins with 19 attempts for 67 yards. And that is it for rushing offense.
In the receiving game, we have Evan Ingram, rookie from Ole Miss, with 116 yards. Then we have Dontrell Inman with 110 yards and a touchdown, and Keenan Allen with 106 yards. Sterling Shepard coming in at 88 yards and a touchdown, and Paul Perkins 58 yards and a touchdown.
Defensively, with sacks, we see that Jason Pierre-Paul has a total of 3 sacks. Derek Barnett, rookie out of Tennessee, coming out with 2. Olivia Vernon with 1. Kawan Williams with 1. And we also see Joey Bosa from Ohio State with 1.
In the interceptions, we have Jeremiah Tashu with 1. We have Landon Collins with 1. BJ Goodson with 1. Sidney Jones, the 4, rookie out of Washington, with 1. And Andrew Adams with 1. Any defensive touchdowns on this game? Oh, actually, holy. Landon Collins, man, I know you're a hard hitter, but whew! Defensive touchdown, 56 fumble return yards. And then
Wow.
BJ Goodson with a 68-yard return for a pick 6.
Yeah.
Good job to the Giants, Defuja. Good luck to both of y'all for the rest of y'all season. Who do we have next on this list? We have
The Eagles versus the
Cardinals, the
Cardinals.
Cardinals. What we got going
When
on
we go into
here?
this game,
What
we
we got
see
going?
that Eagles won in every facet of the game, offensively and defensively, although the Cardinals did have more time of possession. Let's go into passing stats then. Ooh. This looked like a rough game in the passing game for both teams. Carson Wentz with 170 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and was sacked once. Carson Palmer, 122 yards, thrown 2 interceptions, and was sacked 5 times. We also see Nathan Peterman in the game for a little bit. He had a total of 54 yards with 3 sacks.
Which isn't a
Passing
surprise.
game,
Which isn't a surprise to see with that Eagles defensive line that all that pressure was getting through.
nah, yeah, definitely not. But it is still surprising that the passing game was so down between both of these two teams, or both of these players. It's
In the rushing
sometimes that just
game, we have Wendell Smallwood leading 17 attempts for 128 yards, 7.5 average, 4 touchdowns, and a fumble. Chris Johnson with 61 yards and 17 attempts, a 3.6 average. Really nothing going there.
receiving wise, we see Larry Fitzgerald being the main contributor in the game with 7 receptions, 83 yards, and then Zach Ertz with 3 receptions and 46 yards.
Defensively, we go in for sacks. Look at all these sacks. Brendan Graham with 2, Fletcher Cox with 2, 1.5 by Vinny Curry, 1.5 by Tim Jernigan, 1 by Nigel Bradham, 1 by Marcus Golden.
And then for interceptions, we see Rodney McLeod Jr. with 1, Buda Baker, rookie out of Washington, with 1, Tyron Matthew, aka the Honey Badger, with 1, and we also see Brandon Dixon with 1. Any defensive touchdowns? There's a lot of forced fumbles in here. And we have 2 defensive touchdowns, one by Buda Baker, rookie out of Washington, and Deion Buchanan.
So Buda Baker had a pick 6 while Dion Buchanan had a fumble return for 43 yards. Good job to the Eagles. Good luck to both y'all for the rest of y'all's season. Next
Next
up,
game we have
Pittsburgh versus Jacksonville. We go into this game. Pittsburgh owned this game in every aspect, even time of possession. They own this game completely. Player stats, we go in with Kevin Hogan with 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, sacked 5 times, and Big Ben Roethlisberger, 326 yards, a pick, and 9 sacks. Ooh, bad game in passing again.
Yeah, and rushing didn't look too well either. We have Le'Veon Bell with 13 attempts, 52 yards, and a touchdown. And we see Leonard Fournette absolutely stuffed 15 attempts for 23 yards, averaging 1.5 a carry. And he had a fumble as well.
In the receiving game, leading receiver is Antonio Brown, which is not a surprise to see. Top 5 wide receiver, 130 yards. Jesse James actually getting there for 120. Allen Robinson with 61 and a touchdown, and the other touchdown goes to James Conner, rookie out of Pittsburgh. 2 receptions for 3 yards, 1.5 average, and a touchdown.
Defensively in sacks, we see at the top of the list James Harrison with 3 sacks, Yannick Ngakoue with 2.5, Dante Fowler Jr. with 2, Jalen Myrick, rookie out of Minnesota with 1, Bud Dupree with 1, Malik Jackson with 1, Courtney Upshaw with 1, Aaron Colvin with 1, Stephon Tuitt with a half a sack, Calais Campbell with a half a sack, and Javon Hargrave with a half a sack. That was a lot of sacks.
Interceptions. We got Ross Cockrell with his own interception. Jalen Ramsey with one. Mike Mitchell with one. And Sean Davis with one.
With a defensive touchdown, we see that Sean Davis holds the lone touchdown on defense during
For
this game.
with also a -1 fumble return.
Well,
We
good game
also
between both of
actually
you guys.
and also Stephon Tuitt had a safety. He also has a safety in the game.
Safety.
Yep, he has a safety. Stephon
Wait,
Tuitt with the safety.
looks like. Oh, okay. I see how that added up now. Okay, yeah, that was confusing for a second. I was like, wait, the score is 21-14. All right, well, good game between Sveacher and Burn One Down, and we wish you guys the best for the rest of the season.
Next up, we have whoop Reaper and Lima. Ravens versus Raiders. Actually, a very tough game, as we can already see. Ravens with the better rushing game, but Raiders with the better passing game. Turnovers were high, and time of possession. Raiders actually had that time of possession for 5 more minutes.
Passing wise in the game, we already see Joe Flacco with 134 yards, a touchdown, 4 interceptions, and was sacked 5 times. Derek Carr, 187 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions, and sacked 4 times. It definitely looks like both teams got pretty well in there with pressure, causing the quarterback to not throw accurately with his awareness going down and feeling the pressure.
Rushing, we have Terrence West with 67 yards on 10 attempts, 6.7 average, and a touchdown. Marshawn Lynch, 9 attempts for 40 yards, 4.4 average, and Derek Carr with 3 and 35, 11.7. Even Joe Flacco, 5 for 32.
Then we see in the receiving game Mike Wallace, 4 receptions for 86 yards. Amar Darbo, rookie out of Michigan, with 2 receptions and 66 yards. Then we see Jeremy Maclin, 2 receptions, 30 yards for a touchdown, and another touchdown goes to tight end Jarrett Cook, who had 1 reception, 10 yards for that touchdown.
In the defense sacks, Terrell Suggs, one of the biggest pass rushers, veteran pass rushers, with 3. Jahad Ward with 2. We have C.J. Mosley with 1. Corey James with 1. Jarrell Casey with 1. Half a sack by Khalil Mack and Jeremy Lane.
Interceptions, we see that C.J. Mosley had 2, Jeremy Lane had 1, Tavon Young had 1, Jimmy Smith had 1, Carl Joseph had 1, Garyon Conley, rookie out of Ohio State, had 1, Eric Weddle had 1, as well as Sean Smith.
And picks, any defensive touchdowns won by C.J. Mosley. Any safeties or block kicks? Nope. Just the one defensive touchdown. Congratulations to the Ravens. Good luck to both of y'all for the rest of y'all season.
Next, I'll let you take over.
All right. We have Prophet and Hey Rookie Try Me, a very big game. Packers versus Cowboys, 47 to 33. All right, so we get into this. We already see that the Packers won on rushing. Uh, you still don't have Zeke, right? Zeke is still out for a little bit longer.
Zeke is still out.
In
What's
passing,
important to pay attention to is the box score in here in this
yeah,
game. That's the one
17.
thing that's
Green Bay had the first quarter. You won the second quarter. They won the third, but you came back in the fourth. You came all the way back. You won in passing yards. Turnovers, you had less turnovers, and then time of possession, the Packers won. So let's get into this. Passing stats: 312 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, sacked 3 times for Dak. Aaron Rodgers with 173 yards, 4 picks, and 2 sacks. So it looks like even though you had more touchdowns than interceptions, it looks like both of y'all had a lot of trouble in the passing game. Still throwing 3 picks, even with those 4 interceptions, or four touchdowns, but they still threw 3 picks to him. What was going through your mind while playing this game that you threw 3 interceptions?
it was just a frustrating game when it came to those picks because he did a good job with usering and moving them towards the direction, but sometimes they would just get that burst of speed to move them towards the pick sometimes, and it was just frustrating. But it is what it is. I threw at the wrong spots, and that was my fault for even throwing in that area. Um, Passing wise, it was just definitely an onslaught for both of us. As you can see, high numbers of interceptions thrown from both teams, and we made it very difficult for each other.
In the rushing game, Ty Montgomery for 16 attempts, 186 yards, 11.6 average with 2 touchdowns. We have Alfred Morris, backup running back, still a really good running back for the Cowboys for being a backup. 17 attempts, 88 yards, 5.2 average, and a touchdown. Jamal Williams, rookie out of BYU with 5 attempts, 68 yards, 13.6 average, and a touchdown. Even Darren McFadden still getting in there for his own touchdown. Aaron Rodgers fumbled twice and Dak fumbled once. So it looks like y'all both spread out who ran the ball and when they ran the ball. What I know Alfred Morris isn't the fastest, but he's still a good running back. What was going on with this though? Ty Montgomery, I know he's fast receiver to halfback from the Packers. He
Yeah,
just
so
ran,
this
and even Jamal Williams, who looks like he got a lot of playing time for like.
see with Ty Montgomery, it's actually funny though because we had to play this game a second time because the first time his internet cut out and he was up 17-0. So I gave him his 17 points and he got 275 easy rushing 75-yard rushing touchdowns with Ty Montgomery. So he had 150 yards off of 2 runs. So
All right, but even still, Jamal Williams still had a pretty good rushing game himself.
he did, he definitely did.
All right, in the receiving game, Terrence Williams, really underrated wide receiver in my opinion. 156 yards, a touchdown. Randall Cobb being the best for the Packers at 98. Still using veteran Jason Witten. Still had himself a touchdown. And Dez Bryant really looking like you're really not using much for Dez. Uh,
Alfred Morris also had a receiving touchdown.
yeah, didn't go down that far yet. Alfred Morris did have a passing touchdown himself. So, is Terrence Williams your number one? It looks like you targeted him a lot this game.
In this game, he was my number one. But with every other game that I have, I target different people, different games. It just comes out to see like how the defense is playing, the defense that I'm up against, where the assignments are, what they're doing. So with me, I don't typically target one player when it comes to offense. I like spreading the ball out and finding which target works best. If they're having their game, they're having their game, and I'll go and give them more opportunities to go up and get the ball on one-on-one coverages and all that kind of stuff. And he came down with a couple balls in one-on-one coverage and did what he had to do.
All right, so we get into defense. Sacks, not a lot from like these other games where there's a lot of sacks, but Mike Daniels 1.5, David Irving with 1, Devon House with 1, Stephen Pea with 1.5 by Kenny Clark. Interceptions, Clay Matthews, veteran outside linebacker. We got Jake Ryan with 1, Chidobe Awuzie with 1, rookie out of Colorado. Morgan Burnett with 1, Anthony Brown with 1, Justin Durant with 1, and Jordan Lewis, another rookie out of Michigan. And defensive touchdowns, one by Jordan Lewis, 69 yards for pick 6. But congratulations to you. Good luck to both of y'all in y'all's week 6 and the rest of y'all's season.
All right, cool.
So what do we have next? We
And
have the last
the
game, which
last
is
game.
Keon and Shenanigans, Kansas City versus Houston. As we see, we come in here and we see that actually for a loss, Texans actually won on the passing game, not on the rushing game. Had a lot of turnovers, but so did Kansas City. Time of possession, 7 more minutes by Kansas.
7 more minutes. Yeah, there's time of possession seems to be a big factor in this game for Kansas City to hold the Texans' offense away from being able to score.
We go into passing though. The quarterbacks, 214 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 5 sacks by Patrick Mahomes. Deshaun Watson, 223 yards, a touchdown, 7 interceptions, sacked 3 times. So neither side played very well on at all on the passing side of the
In the
game.
passing game. No, not at all. A lot
Rushing,
of interceptions.
Latavius Murray really not doing well. 22 attempts, 67 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Lamar Miller, 10, 10 attempts, 36 yards, 3.6 average, and fumbled twice. And Charkandrick West getting himself a touchdown. Wow, fumbled twice. I don't hear much about Lamar Miller fumbling that much. I even watched the game and
Not
he was
at
fumbling
all.
after like everything he touched. It was a really weird game. On the receiving end, best receiver was Latavius Murray, 94 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 80 yards. Lamar Miller, 65 yards and a touchdown. And really just no one else. Oh,
On the
except for Chris Conley down here with 1.
on the defensive sides, we see a bunch of sacks here. Brian Cushing with 1. Oh shit. Sorry for the language there. Whitney Merciless with 1. Jadeveon Clowney with 1. Chris Jones with 1. Marcus Gilchrist with 1. Carlos Watkins, rookie out of Clemson with 1. Derek Johnson with 1. Benny Logan and Justin Houston combining for 1.
Interceptions. We
Interception.
had 2 from Bernardrick McKinney, 2 by Ramek Wilson, 1 by Whitney Merciless, 1 by Marcus Gilchrist, 1 by D Ford, 1 by Eric Berry, 1 by Steven Nelson, 1 by Andre Hall, Kevin Pierre-Louis with 1, and Terrence Mitchell with 1. Uh, touchdowns,
Defensive
3,
touchdowns.
Eric Berry, Andre Hall, and Kevin Pierre-Louis, all having themselves a defensive touchdown. No safeties and no block kicks.
Congrats
Congratulations.
to Keon for winning that game, and we wish both of you guys the best for the rest of the
I want to
season.
say congratulations to the Texans shenanigans for, even though he lost, he did a good job on defense, picks and sack wise.
He sure did, especially against Keon, who was always a playoff contender last year in Madden 17, and this being Shenanigans' first year playing. I
For
definitely give him props.
yeah, first year on an online league. Hasn't played Madden since the beginning of Madden 17, the very beginning, and that wasn't even online league. That was just offline. So congratulations to both of y'all. Good luck with the rest of y'all's seasons. But like always, congratulations to everybody that won. Hope the people that lost. Hopefully y'all can come back and good luck on all y'all seasons. Week 6, we have a very, very good matchup in Week 6. And that game is the Patriots versus the Jets. Patriots in Madden, everybody knows the Patriots have a very stacked team in Madden, especially now with Brandon Cooks. Uh, but the Jets having a very, very low graded team on offense, but now with Marquise Lee, Blake Bortles, uh, Mama Bear has taken off with the Jets. Like she has taken, like she is a Jet herself. She has taken off into the skies with the Jets team. She even traded the rookie on Superstar, strong safety
Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams for Marquise Lee, Blake Bortles, and another player, a defensive tackle, and just she still has not slowed down. Um, wow, this is going to be a very big game, especially between Tom Brady, veteran, 5 Super Bowl winning uh, quarterback, and Blake Bortles, someone who was supposed to come in and just blow up because he was so good in college. And who do you think? Who are you gonna go with in this game? Because like she's come back from all odds of not being on a good team and just taking off. But he's King of Boston, as we know from last year, was always a play in the playoffs and just has the team already.
Well, I can guarantee you one thing about this game. This game will 100% be a high passing game. Both teams will be very high in passing because both are very good at passing. So this game will be pretty close. Actually, I think this will be one of those high scoring games that comes down to the last few minutes, who has the last possession and who gets that ball punched in. Uh, uh, it's hard to say, but I am actually going to go for the upset. I have the Jets pulling out over the Patriots.
And since we are talking about that, let's not go with quarterbacks. You know, everybody goes with quarterbacks, choosing that. Let's go with their main threats in Brandon Cooks and Robbie Anderson. Jets' main threat is Robbie Anderson on offense. He always gets open for it, and he's always a threat. And of course, Brandon Cooks with that speed and that catching ability is a very big threat for them. So I'm gonna have to go with those two, and I'm gonna have to agree with you about this upset. She always somehow pulls it out, and she just against all odds comes in and takes that W. So if you're listening, guys, Patriots and Jets, down in the comments below, hit us with what you think. Give us your opinion. Who you think, Patriots or Jets? It's a big game. It's only week 6. We all know there's a lot more time in this league, but already in week 6. But like always, good luck to everybody in week 6 and the rest of your season. But of course, we can't end off the episode with just game of the week. We gotta, of course, go look at stats. And those stats are weekly awards. In drumroll, please. Week 5 goes to Ty Montgomery, Darius Slay, Julian Edelman, and C.J. Mosley.
See on the NFC side, both teams, both players from within the same division. And then even on the AFC side, two rival teams, but both playing very good. Julian Edelman played huge,
I know,
huge.
but I don't like. At the same time, I don't see Julian Edelman should have taken that Player of the Week when there's so many other players that had just so much better in stats in the AFC. But this is man, they chose Julian Edelman, so congratulations to these teams that had the uh, top players of Week 5.
Wait. So are you trying to say that there's about to be a Madden Gate investigation now?
A Madden Gate investigation. Yeah, let's go with that, guys. But as always, we hope y'all enjoyed. We really do. We've been asking, people have been asking for this, so I guess I'm just gonna go through standings. I'm not gonna say anything. Just gonna kind of scroll down and show you everybody. Just kind of say, here y'all go. Here's just teams and where they're standing at right now. And boom. There's the standings. Those are how we go. But as always, guys, if y'all did enjoy, hit that like button. We did so like we didn't get to the 10 likes last week, guys, but we did get to 4 likes, which is more than we've been getting. But like I said, I'm gonna keep this goal going of 10 likes per episode. Shows that y'all really do enjoy these. And of course, if you're new, hit that subscribe button, click the bell, because we do content like this every single day. And as always, I'm your host, Avengers. Alongside us is our co-host, Prophet.
All right, guys. We'll be back in 2 days.